ladies and gentlemen, I would like to make an introduction for a young brother that is perhaps one of the funniest people I have ever met in my life. And I've been doing comedy for a long time. I've been in LA for a while. I am from Detroit. This brother's from Detroit. I don't even know where to begin. A host of the World Star TV show. This brother has so many different projects on network TV that are dropping soon. And aside from being hilarious, he is in here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, give me a warm round of applause. We welcome my man, Chris Powell, aka comedian CB. Make noise!
What is up?
Go ahead, man. How are you, brother?
Man, I'm excellent, man. I can't never complain, man. You just ran them credits down. This shit made me teary eyed. I didn't I?
So, I'm gonna jump straight to the first question of the day. But the question of the day is, what's the most useful piece of advice your parents ever gave you?
That I followed, that helped me, or just that I look back like, damn, he's right about that?
Whatever you want, deal with.
Man, you know what, man? You know, like, I was an only child, so everything I went through was like for the first time. So I remember when I went like girl crazy, and then my dad and all my uncles would be like, man, these girls can wait. And I'd be like, man, you gotta elaborate, because that ain't what the loins is telling me. The loins is telling me, hunt, and I feel like I was a zombie. And you know what I'm saying? You know, trying to get brains. And so, you know, but as I look back, I understand that, you know, the more you become who you are, the more you will attract exactly what you need. So really, they really can wait, because everything has to wait for you to become who you're supposed to be. And I think that if they would elaborate it, I would have waited. But I didn't. I was like, oh, I'm in here and I'm out here. So, you know what I'm saying?
I'm in here and I'm out here.
But that's the advice that, you know, that was very solid. And it was, you know, it was like, you know, nobody parents is perfect. But I was like, damn, y'all hit the nail on that one.
Man, let me tell you something. I have had the honor and pleasure to hear CB talk to his parents on the phone. There's so much love. I'm like, man, for you to be the only child, it's crazy, because that shows the tight-knit relationship that you guys have.
Right.
Which is already incredible.
Yeah, we grew up together.
What?
No, I'm saying, like, you know, my mom was 19, my dad was 20.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? When they got pregnant, I think they was 20 and 21 when they had me. And, you know, so, yeah, we grew up together. Like, when they used to throw house parties, and you think I was in the bed or I was in the middle of the circle doing the kid and play with my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Do you talk about this on stage, Chris?
No, I don't.
You better start.
I don't know why you don't.
Cause you know what, man, like, cause you know, they also encouraged me to be a comedian at a very young age. When I found out I was funny, it was from cracking jokes that I was making them laugh. So, you know, they was like, oh man, watch this Richard Pryor, watch this. You know, when I was a kid, I had to sneak, so you could just have it.
Wow.
And so for me, it was like, okay, so I was more concerned with coming up with material and being creative, and I couldn't even understand the comedy that was around me because I was too busy trying to magician it up myself. I looked at what Eddie did and all of them as something that couldn't possibly have been there. Like, that had to be something that, you know, they got high and made up or did whatever, and I was like, I gotta, you know, that's where I was at with my creativity. So when people ask me, do I talk about my family, I don't know how.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Well, first, I'm going to say this, and then we're going to take a call. Caller, stay right there. You just did it perfectly here, just now.
Okay.
The way you said it to us,
Yeah.
is how you say it.
Exactly.
Like he's like, yeah, man, you know, I grew up, I was the only child, you know, my parents had me young. You know,
We grew up together.
We grew up together, and
Right.
then you go straight in there, and you think I was asleep, or you think I was downstairs.
That was hilarious.
That's real though.
We got the caller, you're kicking it with Clayton. Who am I talking to? Hey, you said fam from Texas? Nice, thanks so much for calling, buddy. What's the best piece of advice your parents ever gave you? I love it.
That means so much. Very few words, but it means so much, you know.
Absolutely, man. Those are incredible words. Those are great pieces of advice, man. I want to thank you for calling in, and I want you to shout your parents out and tell them to thank you for giving you that information and sharing it with other people, man. Thank you for your call.
Hard to rule us hard, but
Yeah, shout out to Clayton. I was like, you were so positive and like reassuring. You know what I'm saying? I mean, get out of here, regular ass parents. You know what I'm saying? My bad. It's like, wow, I need to go to church. Clayton.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're kicking it with Clayton. I got Young Lulu here. I got my man KP. I got Sharice. I got Chocolate with Glasses. I got Highland Park. I got my man Producer of the Year, Engineer Extraordinaire. I got my man Darren on the 1s and 2s. I got Young Wazir. And the guest of the day, one of the funniest men I've ever met in my lifetime, ladies and gentlemen, comedian CP in the building. CP is so funny to me, man. You have no idea how many times we've been kicking it, and I've had to literally say, CP, shut the fuck up, bro. Because you know, you're the laugh so hard the back of your head start hurting. He makes me laugh that hard. I'm like, bro.
That shit, I had to happen for you. Know how old niggas be having them lips in the back of their head from their little mirrors. I done made one of them start cracking. I'm like, oh, the nigga lips like, I was like, what? Back of the head's cracking up. I've seen that. I've seen that little mouth open.
I did a show, we did a show like about 2 weeks ago, and he had me dying. And then after the show, we went and kicked it outside for like an hour and was dying. I was like, yo, I had to leave, my face was hurting. I was like, I'm done with you, I'm done.
He's naturally, here's the thing, when you see a comedian who's naturally hilarious, that is one of the many gifts that you see people have.
Yeah.
Because there are so many comedians who force it, like they'll be like, hey, watch me be funny. And you're like, ah, come on, man, I'm on board. This dude, he can't help it. Like, this is who he is.
Yeah.
He's so funny. CP, I have to ask you this, man. So how did you get here? What has been your journey to where you are now?
All right, so, you know, like I told y'all before, you know, the kind of parents that I had allowed me to kind of become that vessel, right? To be able to kind of harness, you know, what I felt like I could do creatively. But then that's only a piece of it, because you still need the people, and you need, you know, your classmates and your coworkers and the certain people to kind of tell you that you're funny who don't love you. People, make people laugh who don't even like you in class. I just fought that nigga last year. He up here laughing, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, that kind of planted a seed. I think in 3rd grade, my first joke, and this is in 4th grade actually. My first joke that made the teacher laugh was, she asked us, we were in science, and she was like, you know, what's the thing that the beavers build in order to stop the water, to hold in their young? You know, we as humans have adapted that technology from animals, and we use it in our, you know. And I was like, I raised my hand. She's like, Chris. I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Now, she died, and it was like, I was nervous to say that. It was a curse word, but also I just took it, and she laughed, and I didn't get in trouble. And that's when I realized that the funnier it is, the least likely you will get in trouble for it. And so, you know, all through college, man, when I went to college, I pledged my fraternity. I was the president, so we would throw events, and then I would be like, and I'm the host. And they'd be like, all right, and I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so I would do that, and then that kind of harnessed my big crowds. I went to Michigan State. It was like 80,000 kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you talk about you're doing an event, a small event with 7,000 people.
Wow.
And you on stage, and you know, and I'm learning how to work a crowd and control a crowd. And then I, you know, once I graduated, I went into advertising, which taught me how to produce. And so, you know, now I'm writing commercials for, like, you know, a lot of different companies, but I'm also working my way up through this company. So I didn't start as a writer. I started damn near in the mailroom learning the process.
Yeah.
And so once I, you know, got a famous spot that I wrote, that it was for Walmart Christmas in 2009. We had just elected Obama. I'm sorry, 2008. We had just elected Obama. We were very optimistic about what life could be, but people were still broke. It was a very, like, tight line people had to walk, and people were failing trying to write this commercial. So I took the brief home, wrote over the weekend, I wrote 4 spots, came back, I wrote a song, they picked it. So next thing you know, here I am, I'm 23, 24, I'm in New York with like almost $1 million, hiring directors and, you know, doing all with a baby face. And so, you know, what happened was, you know, these things, you know, I was very frustrated at that job at times from not getting the respect, but when I look back at, it was like, man, you know, that was my process. If you've ever pledged, you understand that your life becomes your process when you can start to look at, like, oh man, I'm doing this as a means to an end. Like one day, you know, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but one day I'll be producing my own TV show with the comedy that I learned how to do in 3rd grade with, you know, the crowd control that I got from college. You know, it's like, when people tell me that they're not where they want to go, I say, you're on the way, you just don't know it yet. The shit, you know, you being homeless is a part of your story. You being hungry today is a part of the story. And what you will become will it has to encompass all of that. You gotta get made. Everybody gotta get made. Cookies gotta get made.
Wow.
You understand that?
Cookies gotta get made.
Cookies gotta get fucking made.
That makes so much sense.
Like, you think you're not is more significant than a cookie? Cookies gotta get made. So you don't think that you have to be created and made through your own process, then you haven't started yet.
Yeah, like the people that just accept cookie dough.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly. Fat motherfuckers.
So we're talking about advertising, man. How has that helped you transition with your comedy, with advertising, working in the corporate world, to now not just being in front of the camera, but also being behind the camera? Let me elaborate. CP is not only incredible with voice, incredibly talented, he is a trained puppeteer.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God, that was the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Mhm.
Like, I was literally in tears. He was like, yeah, I'm doing the puppets. I was like, you ain't doing the puppets. I'm the puppeteer. I was like, oh, that's crazy.
The
Like,
craziest part about puppeteers is that I did a project where I got a chance to hire Kevin Clash, who was Elmo. And I got a chance to work with him, he had that little lawsuit, where he was, sticking his hand up more than a puppet. That's my nigga though, shout out to Kevin. But I got a chance to work with him because of that. And so I'm looking like, nigga, you're the master. And he's like, man, you got me dying laughing. I'm like, oh, you gassing me.
Yeah.
So, the crazy thing is a lot of that is the easy stuff. And what I mean by that is if you can get to the point where you can get your hands on a puppet and get your hands in it, you can work it enough to, but if you get to the point where you're behind the scenes and producing this show, you can tell motherfuckers what to do and you can tell anybody you want it. That's the easy part. The hard part is the pitching process and the meetings and all of that stuff that you have to be trained to learn how to deal with boardroom exercises and, learning how to pitch and really sell. And I think that in the advertising world, selling those commercials, which had to be 30 seconds at a time, was all, that was, it's like, I'm selling you 30 seconds, that's like, bam, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so now you give me 30 minutes to do what I've been trained to do in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's like giving Bruce Lee a day to whoop your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna break your ass out. Like, you just all day, you ain't got nowhere to be, Bruce. So, I just attribute the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, those times when I was in those boardrooms getting shitted on. You know what I'm saying? Like, people higher than me in higher ranks was, I put 2 cologne squirts in the same spot by mistake when I was rushing out. So if I'm blowing y'all out, I was like, pop, pop, ooh, let's go. I'm gonna pay for that. You gotta move. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But
caller right now. We're gonna go to a caller. Caller, you kicking it with Clay. Who am I talking to? That's what's up, man. Thank you so much for calling in. What the question of the day is what's the best piece of advice your parents ever gave you? That's what's up. Give it to me.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. Thank you so much for the call, brother. I appreciate you calling in now.
I don't like how I've been turned into a noun or an adjective.
what you be doing?
I don't know what I'll be doing, but first of all, with a name like knowledge changed the world, that didn't change nobody's mind about shit because.
Let me tell you something, CP. Let me catch you.
I can hear the dreadlocks on the phone.
How do you have Lulu Gonzalez people?
This is how you Lulu, okay? This is how she does it, CP. Lulu is a very competitive person, okay? Lulu is the type that she'd be like, you'd be like, oh man, I just got that 2K19. She's like, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna play with you. Like, yeah, all right. And she will not play as a girl. She will play to win and beat your ass.
And I talk
After
shit.
she beats your ass, she gonna say, I beat your ass. Now this leads Lulu to being very single on a regular basis. So that's how you get Lulu.
I fuck with that. Beat me up. Shit. For real. Shit. Only thing that's gonna be left standing is my dick. Like, what else you got?
What else you got? So tell me now, we talk about, man, you're so funny. I have to know, what is your biggest bomb? What was one of the worst performances?
Was you there?
I hope not.
Man, look. So, this is my first time ever doing Baker's Keyboard Lounge in Detroit. Not the Kool-Aid show, This was I was hired to do a birthday party because I had did, somebody saw me do a hot five somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, man, this brother, man, you gotta come do my birthday party, right? Now, mind you, at this time, man, when I was a young comedian, I was you be nervous, and I think that the nerves, if you a man, or just people handle it in a different way. My nerves, I was so nervous that I was like roasting the crowd and just like, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know, they didn't even do something. They're like, nigga, we like you. Like, fuck all y'all. So, this time, the thing is that you gotta get a couple of chuckles to kind of start your lawnmower. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, you know what I'm saying? So I got on stage, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, who birthday is it? And then they was like, it's our mama's. But when some grown folks say it's their mama, nigga, it's like an ancestor for to come out. And so this woman came out the back and she was like, oh, and I'm like, it's your birthday? It's like, oh my God, like, your cake gonna be a candlelight visual. That shit. And she was like 94, and I was like, that's a year, that's not an age. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, but they wasn't laughing, so I kept trying to gouge. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? She did a death day cake. She didn't do a birthday cake. She did, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to roll the credits on her ass. And nobody laughed. And at that time, I didn't understand, it's greats like Corey Holcomb and stuff who can shock a room and then live in that.
Yeah.
I shocked the room and scared myself. I was like, y'all mad at me? Hey.
How long were you up there for?
Man, years. I was like, oh, man. And so I just remember feeling so defeated, like nobody in the room, like this show, brother. It was like people was like selling other people a good show who went up, but they were standing right next to me, and then they looked at me and be like, yeah, so. And I was like, man, and it was like when I look back, the jokes was funny.
Oh yeah.
But it was just like the audience was not rocking with me, and I lost it completely. That's how I started it off. So I still had about 7 minutes. So my little self-esteem was so gone. I'm trying to wrap it up. Like, all right, well, cool. Anybody smoke weed? And they're like, no. And I'm like, all right, moving on. You know what I'm saying? It was like they kind of brought the bomb out of me.
Yeah.
Because they took my confidence away. So I'm on stage with no confidence. I'm like, and it's like, man, that time showed me like, all right, bro, you gotta work, and you gotta work no matter what, and you gotta make them fuck with it.
Yeah. You know what it is? Go ahead.
I just got a question, because I know a lot of comics feel like, once you see somebody bomb, you don't want that energy on you. So I'll see like somebody not have a good show, and then they get off stage and everybody like turn their back on them, like I don't want to touch that vibe. Do you feel like that, or did you understand?
That's whack. After you burn, I'm really gonna kill you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I'm about to tear this bitch down. That's how I look at it. So it's like, plus, like I said, I've been there. Even though them jokes was hitting because they was real, I was on stage feeling the vulnerability and the questioning myself and the what am I doing?
Yeah.
I just had an advertising job where nobody bothered me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I like what the fuck? Like, this is fucking my confidence up. And sometimes I think as a man, we don't have a lot of moments that shock our confidence. We should have a lot of moments that fuck your confidence up. So when you do, we have a harder time dealing with that than I think women who are constantly, like making sure that they almost like women humble themselves. You ever tell them, oh man, you look beautiful with these bag eyes and this bullshit ass. No, thank you, sir. And they be like, well, now that you mention it, you know what I'm saying?
On this note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Kicking It with Clayton. Ladies and gentlemen, you're sitting here. I'm your host, Clayton Thomas. I got my girl to my left. I got young Lulu, a.k.a. Lourdes Gonzalez. I got to her left. I got my man, Kenny Petcher Jr., if you don't know. So Hollywood KP. I got the girl, Sharice, in the building. I got Chocolate with Glasses. I got Highland Park. I got the producer of the year, engineer extraordinaire, my man Darren on the ones and twos. I got Young Wazir. And my special guest of the day, my very good friend, has got his family. He's incredible. He's on fire right now, ladies and gentlemen. Comedian CP, kicking it with
Clayton.
Hey, Let me tell you something about Clay that y'all might not know. Do you remember this?
What?
Okay. I was in LA, right? I was standing at Clay's, right? And shout out to Clay, one of the most comfortable little velvet mixed couches. All right? I'm talking about, man, I was having 70s dreams. All right? Shout out to Clay, shout out to Tangerine. Nah, let me tell you this. I was about to go pitch my first show. And I was out here, and you know, it's LA. I'm from Detroit. Detroit, you can get everywhere in 20 minutes. Yeah. So I'm bullshitting. I gotta be there too. They're like, nigga, it's 1:38. I'm like, yeah. He's like, nigga, get your ass in the car. We get in the car. This nigga Clay had a pickup truck. This nigga is driving through Los Angeles to get me to this fucking pitch, which I sold. You remember that?
Yeah, you saw that.
Like he was hitting shit. Like he was hitting people cars like, "Ooh, sorry, bitch." And like. Dog, I never forgot that, and I so appreciate that. Like, you put me in, like, so this is what Burbank is, this is what you're gonna do, and this is North, this is South, and I remember all of that. Remember I was trying to get in the apartment downtown, you like, nigga, no, the roaches. I'm like, yeah, right. Shout out to Clay, man.
Man, I cannot confirm or deny any of that. However, what I will say is this brother is an amazing cat, man, so talented. You sold over like 3 or 4 shows.
Yeah, I'm at like 6 right now.
Man, this guy, man, so it's like, it's one of those things where I've always had the thing where I'm like, yo, especially when it comes to driving, like somebody's like, yo, I need to get to the airport. I'm not driving like a taxi would drive, where they're like, oh, let's take your time, oh, you missed the flight. Like, if you're telling me something on the line, you need to get there, because that's what I want somebody to do with me.
Yeah.
So my question to you is right now, man, what have you felt that your biggest break has been so far?
Man, it's crazy, man. Like, you know, when I did World Star,
Huge.
it was crazy because I was producing a show on MTV already that we were in the works. The show, the little something about the puppet show when we did with Kev and Kevin Flash, and so Q was a fan of mine, and he was like, you know, he reached out to me like, man. Well, his people reached out like, yo, we want you to audition for this show. And I'm like, you know, honestly, bro, to really be honest, I'm a boss of a whole nother show right now.
Yeah.
I'm running the office, I have employees, I don't want to skip out on them. How does that look? You know what I'm saying, for me right now? He's like, man, all right, well, just come and kick it. Maybe we can put you on as producer of the show. MTV's already gave us that you can do it. Nice. So it ain't like, I'm like, all right, so I go through, and it's like 4 or 5 of us comedians here. And we're at like this loft, some little duck off loft or whatever, and we're just discussing ideas about the show. And so I'm you know, pitching ideas, but I'm also explaining to them, you know, how big the show could be, what it could mean. You know, you talk about negative connotations that World Star would carry, but we can put that to rest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we have an opportunity to, you know, be that brand. Don't forget, you know, people talk about ridiculousness and all of that. You know, what they like to do is take our shit and beat us to the finish line. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, World Star's been out. We've been the source for the video. We've been the source for your funny video entertainment. But then these other shows come out, ridiculousness and all this other stuff, and then now we gotta look like we copying our own shit.
Right.
So that's number one. So, you know, I'm explaining that to them, and they like are loving it. So they call me, they're like, look, CP, we really want you to host. I'm like, look, dog, I'm working Monday through Friday. Okay? Like, every day. Like, I ain't no calling off. I gotta call me to call off. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're like, all right, call me back. Listen, now they got my manager on the phone. I'm like, what's up? They're like, look, man, what you doing on the weekends? I'm like, man, honestly, bruh, like, I'm making money, and it's just like, no, man, like, my weekends is like, fam, I love the show, the idea. Shot is to y'all. Hope y'all can kill it. Q hit me like, yo, bro, what did it take that we paying? I was like, X amount. He was like, well, how about double X? I need you. I'm like, man, what time do y'all need? Yeah, man, like, you talking about double X? I should have led with that. So literally, the deal was that I would only have to work on the weekends, and we would shoot as many episodes as I could take in a day.
Wow.
So we were shooting sometimes 3, sometimes we were shooting, KB was there. Sometimes we were shooting 3, sometimes we were shooting 2. You know, one weekend I shot 5 in a whole, like, maybe like 4 one day, 1 another day. You know, because, you know, like, Migos might miss the flight, so I gotta, you know, so then I'm doing after work stuff where I'm still on my show. I would leave my show and go to these different hotels and different places just to do interviews with different people. It was a good, you know, it was a good intro to me. It was a very relaxing thing, like I said, because I wasn't producing. It was my first chance to be an on-camera talent without me having to be responsible for what the show was going to be. I did my job, and I was compensated for that, and that was like a good feeling. Unfortunately, the plan that we had set in place, you know, that Q and I spoke about, was like, look, bro, we're going to get them 10 episodes. We're going to be the #1 show on MTV2, and then we're going to come to them like, look, I need this on the air every day, damn it. Right? Q passes away. Rest in peace, Q. Today's his birthday. Shout out to Q. Happy birthday. And he never sees the show hit the air. The show hits the air. We're the #1 show on MTV2. Shout out to my nigga Charlamagne. We beat Charlamagne. Shout out to Martin. We the only show other than Martin and people that has retention on the network. We use all our bargaining chips because now with Q being gone, what people wanted to do with that people don't understand is that they wanted to use WorldStar for ad space. If you pay attention, back in the day, you could watch a WorldStar video and it was not no ads. All the ads were the ads that was paid for by the artist. You see the banners on the side, you give it up for you. Now that he's out the way, they've turned and changed it. People have come in, you know, money was not a thing to Q. You know what I'm saying? Q, like, I got 150 million in my safe. Like, you're not getting my baby. Right? Q's gone, it's a different story. Next thing you know, TRL is here. It's the new everyday, all day thing. WorldStar's gone. It was a big break for me because I got a chance to be CP without having to wear too many hats.
It's killing it too.
It's
killing it.
The reviews was great on it. I was excited.
I mean, it was fun. It was, you know, it was a dream come true to shoot that, but it was also a nightmare to watch my homie die right then. You know, before we even got a chance to make history. However, then came along a show called Detroiters on Comedy Central. Now, Detroiters, you know, for a different reason, was a huge break as well because it put me, you know, directly into Lauren Michaels' office. I was writing in Lauren Michaels' office every day. So you're talking about the person who's responsible for Eddie Murphy, the person who's responsible for everybody at SNL, you know, and he's single-handedly like, oh, you're funny. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is, you know, then you got Jason Sudeikis there. Who is so dope. I had to earn his respect. You know what I'm saying? I had to earn his. We come back in season 2, and it's like CP, and it's like Jason Sudeikis. You know what I'm saying? You know? And, you know, it's like you got Sam Richardson, who's on everything. You got Tim, who's hilarious. SNL alumni got his own. So, you know, this put me in the arena where it's like, all right, if you funny, this is the WWF. You know what I'm saying? And so then it became people saying that I was a standout on the show that was a standout in the comedy world. That's like one of those, what do you call it, cult classic type of following type of shows, like Grandma's Boy, like, you know, all of that type of, those type of shows. If you watch that show, you understand it's all comedy. Like, this is what they do in their spare time. Like, you know, Sam got beef, Sam got movies, Tim got, it's like, this is like their hobby. So it's that funny where it's like, you know, and so for me to, you know, hit that put me into another trajectory of a comedian that you need to look out for. And I was always looking like, man, I'm not getting the JFL new faces. I'm not getting the, you know, these things that have been telltale reasons why a lot of comedians have been able to blow up. I'm not getting those opportunities, and I was like, man, but then you see that, I'm getting these opportunities. And it's like, well, you gotta take your hand, and, you know, don't look at nobody else play. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take your hand, it's my hand, dog. We playing spades, then you look at my hand, I'm fucking you up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, I think my biggest break was probably, I'll probably say WorldStar for, you know, what it allowed me to be and feel, and then Detroiters for a chance to rate myself against people who I have some respect for.
It's when we talk about standing out, what are some of the things that you would say have helped you become a standout amongst other comedians?
I think that you know, everything from your look to your approach has to be unique. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's like sometimes if it's only one noble, you know what I'm saying, then they gotta get what they can get from you. If it's only one, if you make sure you're the only one, whatever it is, if you make sure you're the only one, then it makes it easier and an almost no-brainer for them to have to mess with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, it was like, man, when I wanted to get into the internet, I felt like it was too much competition. Like these motherfuckers was good. It wasn't just about the comedy, it was about the editing, it was about, you know, their approach and their consistency. And it's like, I can't keep up with that. But I gotta be the only one where I'm at doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, so, you know, if you look at my Instagram, you'll see that I create characters and I do little stuff that I try to make sure is just unique to, you know, you gotta come here to find it.
Yeah.
And that's really what I can attribute to being a stand-up. You gotta be, you know, different, but people say that, but they don't know what that means. Like, different is just the easiest thing that you can be. Because we're all different. Be your fingerprint.
Yeah.
Be your, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the easiest thing to be. The worst thing to do is try to be, you know what I'm saying, somebody else or something you're not. So I think, like, a lot of people, you know, are very good comedians because they've watched a comedian and then they become the new version of that comedian, and that's not a stand-up.
Yeah.
I would say that, CB, your content is definitely intriguing, and just like the way your mind works, like I'm in love with that Russian joke that
Oh,
you did.
yeah.
And like you can see that going, like it's a joke that you would never see coming, but it's like his creativity within that joke, within the layers of that joke, how deep he goes into the joke. It's like, how did you come up with this? Like, what made you think this? I would say your content always is completely out there, but in a good out there, like I want to see more.
Right.
Like, what else do you got?
That's why I don't write jokes. I just gotta let them, they have to come to me, usually in the shower. But it's like, they gotta come to me. Yeah, in the shower, man. Something about being butt ass naked.
Yeah, with soap.
And shit. But I'm gonna tell you though, I've read somewhere that, you know, showering is kind of new in the human experience.
What?
Bro, like people used to get in like waterfalls and lakes and all of that, but we have like plumbing and showering, the actual shower and clean hot water is kind of new. And what it does is it quiets that part of your brain that feels like you're not around enough water, because that's a thing for us. That's always a thing for us to hunt down water and food and the next water and food. How much water and food do we have? So to get showered with water like that, it's like a pacifier for that part of your brain that's saying, where's the water? And so when that's quiet, if you can quiet something in your brain, you can hear a lot of shit. I used to like win arguments that was already over in the shower. I go in there, bitch, I told you, what the hell? Oh, I should have said that.
Listen to me, man. When I tell you that this is what you have to understand with CB. CB is so funny, but this is I've learned the trigger for him. The trigger is, like he said, is those giggles. It's like starting up a lawnmower. I've watched CB just have regular conversations, and I'm like, man, I can't laugh out loud, because if I laugh out loud, he's gonna keep hitting me, and he keeps hitting me. My head is going to be killing me by the end of the night. And I was like, he said something, I was like, and he started ripping. I'm like, motherfucker, he's that funny. Let me ask you this, man. We know CB. Who is Chris Pop? Like, what are some of your biggest fears?
Man, my biggest fears, I'm scared to talk about my fears, and somebody come up to me like, he gonna climb, nigga, you go with it, no? You feel me? Like, you can't put that out there, you know what I'm saying? You scared of duck time, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? But,
Somebody called Mad Ducks.
you know what I'm saying? I'm in a fucking nut house. There was so many ducks. But, you know, who is Chris Powell, man? You know, Chris Powell is a student. Like, I'm a straight up student, man. Like, you know, I think that, you know, a lot of the cool or whatever people feel about me is all really earned. I think that, you know, at my core, you know, when I was in high school, man, I was a class clown, but then I was also captain of the robotics team. I was captain of the debate team. Like, you know, I set records in Detroit for academic games that still have not been reached.
What? Hold on, wait, what did you go to?
I went to Mumford.
Y'all had all that at Mumford?
How dare you disrespect Mumford?
Yeah,
What you know, CMA?
I went to CMA. CMA was a great school. Mumford used to kill in track and football.
But they got a robotics
We had
program?
robotics.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I stayed after school. It was 8 hours. So I had an 8-hour robotics class. We used to go to it was it Bosch or some kind of company after school to go, and they had our laboratory that we would actually build. We used to compete. Like, it was like a lot of like mazes that we used to have to do, like programming, like a lot of coding. We wasn't that sweet, but I mean, we used to compete. You know what I'm saying? You know, sagging pants and shit in there. You know what I'm saying? But I, you know, like, just I'm a student, constantly learning, constantly thinking of different angles and ways to kind of communicate my shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if I can learn as much as I can about nature, if I can learn as much as I can about technology, if I can learn as much as I can about gaming and stuff that I'm interested in that piques my interest, then that will allow me to kind of do jokes about this stuff and do, you know, like find a different way to feel based on a different kind of mindset, you know, just putting my shit in different areas.
It's everything that happens to all of us as performers or in the entertainment business, look from within. Like when you talk about robotics, when you talk about the clubs, I was the president of my drama club, president of Broadcast Arts Club. I was the president of the chess club, and I didn't even know how to play chess. It's just I knew they needed a leader.
No, that's some CT. I can see that so bad.
What were you leading them on? You didn't even know that.
This nigga was coaching.
You gotta learn how to move your rooks.
We got a caller right now. Caller, you kicking it with Clayton. Who am I talking to? I say, caller, you kicking it with Clayton. Who am I talking to?
They're sounding like, I'm dead.
Thanks so much for calling in, caller. Hopefully you try back. I know they were probably using the interview as well. Let me ask you, man, who are some of your influences in this business?
Entertainment or comedy? Because
Give me both. Give me entertainment first.
Man, you know what's crazy is that I used to look up to Tommy Davidson a lot. I like his energy, man. Like, you know, he was one of the funniest people. I used to wait for him. Like, man, when is his show coming out? I want to see his show. You know, and you know, his energy, the way that he would, you know, I don't know if y'all ever seen the stand-up called Illin in Philly.
Yes.
You know, he was talking about that cat with a soda. And he's like, man, it's so hot in Philly. I saw a cat with a soda. Man, get you on in. Man, it was like, you know, as a kid, man, I rented that from Blockbuster on my Friday trip. Like, what you want to get? I'm like, a game? I'm like, no, I want this time of day. And I watched it, took it back. And it was like, I had the jokes memorized, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he had that delivery to me, and I think that because he's who I look up to, it scares me sometimes to think like, man, you know, how can somebody so talented not be where I expect them to be? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, what can I do differently? And I've worked with Tommy, you know what I'm saying? I be wanting to hug that nigga, like, man, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but it's like, you know, he was my favorite comedian. Of course, Eddie Murphy and all of them, but I felt like I had to share them with everybody else. So I felt like, you know, Tommy was like, oh man, he's funny, quick. His jokes is coming. What he did on Martin, Barnell Hill was one of the most.
Did you miss me?
I cast my reel. I got catfish out back.
You got catfish on the left.
Oh man, catfish are delicious. But you're right. You understand that it's like that was a guest star appearance. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, when I think about going on somebody's show and, you know, to deliver I want to have that kind of guest star appearance. Like, that's what I think about. Like, how can I Barnell this? You know what I'm saying? And you know, so that was, you know, in comedy. And then I think in entertainment, man, I think that Will Smith is dope. And I think that the reason why I said Will Smith is because he has a very, very clear and concise way of communicating himself. And I really, really appreciate that. Because I feel like, man, it's dope. Like, Will don't talk white. No. Ain't no white in him at all. Ain't no like, oh, he ain't talking. But there is, for a black man and a way that a black man could be, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has a very, very clear, concise way of getting his point across, and people like that get what they want.
You know what it is? When you speak about people like Will Smith, you have to realize that there are so many things that factor into why he speaks the way he does. It's a conversation I was having with my lady the other day. I said, I am a large black man. I have to be very careful how I come across to people. I have to make sure you feel comfortable with me, and at the same time, I have to make sure that you don't feel intimidated by me by getting my point across, because it's a lot easier to just talk like, well, look, this is what I'm saying, and then that's very aggressive and it doesn't get anything across. Whereas Will Smith is a very handsome guy. He's super tall. He's the guy that you're like, oh, I want this guy to come over to my house. I want him to meet my family.
He's like Barack Obama light skin.
Exactly.
like that perfect light skin. Like, he's bright mother. Oh, you ain't that bright. You know what I'm saying? Like, peanut butter motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
And he has a way of delivering things that makes you feel like, okay, I'm a part of this. I'm a part of him. That's the exact reason that he jumped from I remember when he had started Instagram, he was at like 50,000 for like the first day, and then he shot up to the millions because he found a way to translate how he is to our love for him to how you feel that you're a part of his movement outside of just film and television, and it's brilliant. And I see a lot of that with you, man. And this is before the World Star Show dropped. You have so much love from your fan base, and it continues to grow and it continues to become even more people. But there's something in comedy and entertainment in general that you're likable. Mm-hmm. And when you're likable, people will follow you forever. And when you look at television shows, when you look at films that people have had, you look at when they don't succeed, it's because people did not grasp the likability factor. The person who's the star of the show or the movie have always been like, well, this is going to be funny no matter what because I'm involved. And that's not the case. You have to always make sure you connect the likability, because likability is something that when you watch TV show Martin's character on the show was an evil person.
Yeah.
But Martin on camera was so likable, and he was so funny that you felt for him and you wanted to be a part of his
He made you
friendship.
understand.
Yeah.
He made you understand
why he was like he
And
was.
I feel like it also puts you like in a safe place. Like I feel safe with them. Like I feel like you're not gonna let me down. Like on the screen, like especially with CP, like when people watch you on Instagram and stuff like that, and no matter what you put out, it's like a safe place because like he always gonna deliver. I know he's always gonna deliver. That's what I mean, like as far as safe, right?
Yeah.
And especially with Will, like you know he's gonna give you something that's gonna either motivate you, inspire you, or just give you a good laugh.
Now we talk about let's go to comedy for a minute. Give me your top 5 outside of Tommy Davidson.
And Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, outside of Eddie Murphy and Tommy Davidson, give me your top 5 comedians. And they give me your famous ones and give me the ones that haven't popped yet that you're like, oh yeah, this person, these
Man,
fans.
I think they started to run together for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because being in LA, we all a joke away.
Yeah.
And so then it becomes like, you are famous to me because, we all I know what it takes to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? I think you know why that's a strange question, Clayton? Because
Why?
I find myself behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And it's like I've worked with all these people and I see their processes. Sometimes it makes me lose respect. Sometimes, it's like as I get to know them more, it's like, you're not. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's hard, man. I think that. So I'm gonna give you some comedians that I'm proud of. I'm proud of Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I admire what he's doing. I've been a big fan since Paper Soldiers.
Woo!
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When he, I watched Soul Plane because he was in it. Because I was that guy that was paying attention back then to who was going to be who. He told Jada because he like Husky Ninja Turtle. That shit, boy. Shout out to Kev, man. JB Smooth.
Yes.
I like JB Smooth. I like his literally. I like the way he talks. He's different. Kevin. You know what I'm saying? I like that. That shit is dope to me. I like Ron Taylor.
Hilarious.
I love
Another Detroit
I
native.
like Ron Taylor, another Detroit native. And I think that I got a soft spot for all of the Detroit comedians.
Yeah.
Like, Clayton, you know what I'm saying? Like, your Kool-Aids and Downtown 20 Like, we have in Detroit, it's so tough, it's so hard, and you gotta hit quick, and you gotta hit consistently long. You know what I'm saying? So, pause. But,
It's Tony Robert, Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Is he still going?
Yeah. Comedy isn't something we
yeah,
I
Tony
can't
going right now. Shout out to Tony Rock.
Okay, see?
Yeah. Comedy isn't something that, because I was about to correct it and say, comedy isn't something you quit, because a lot of people quit. But once you've been in it so long, you don't stop. Tony Roberts is incredible. For me, of Detroit, I know we have to say Downtown Tony Brown because he is the first, but Kool-Aid is the king of Detroit. He is one of the funniest people I've ever seen. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to know where comedy was going on in Detroit because I started before, Google.
Back to likability.
Yeah.
Like Kool-Aid has a great way. He's like everybody's big brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and then all the girls love Kool-Aid.
Oh, they love him.
He has that flavor, so that's like, that's kind of us coming up as young comedians. And it was like, man, I got Kool-Aid.
Yeah, man, I literally was Kool-Aid. I was like, I'm gonna dress like
He
this.
said I was Kool-Aid. I remember Kool-Aid, man. He's the like haze me.
Yeah.
He man, you appreciate it when you get older. I remember they used to call me like we'd be backstage, And then they'd be like, all right, come to the stage, give it up for CP. And he'd grab it. And they'd be like, CP? It's CP? I'm like, and he'd be like, all right, well, where's Kool-Aid? Give it up for Kool-Aid. And he'd be like, say, no, CP comes. I'd be like, man! So, you know, that's those. So where I'm at, that's 3. Martin is one of my all-time.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Gotta include him.
You gotta include Martin. And then the last one, man. Man, this is in no particular order, so you know you can pick last. It ain't like it ain't like kickball, my nigga. But man, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like
Leave that one blank because
TBA.
I feel like it's me.
I like
You know what I'm saying? But I don't fuck it. It is what it is. Sometimes you gotta be honest.
You got to, because you know you can look back at your own stuff and start laughing as it's like it's not you.
Yeah.
What TV shows are you addicted to right now?
Man, so much not comedy. You know, like I can't let Game of Thrones come back.
Same.
Okay. Power, of course.
Yes.
Fresh off the boat.
Okay.
I mean, it's so smart. The mom is so funny.
Yeah.
What I like about that show is that they adapted. They understood that the mom was a star, and they moved it from Eddie right over to the mama.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is smart. You want to spin off, sit your ass down over there. You know what I'm saying? Who else? This Is Us.
Yes.
My lady gonna be watching that, crying and shit.
Every movie.
Every time.
Jack is everybody there.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
That nigga got the emotional face, man.
Man.
You don't want to read no bad report card to him, but see? You know what I'm saying? What else, man? I'm watching Ozark.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Oh, what? Oh,
He gotta think for Jason Bateman. He
Yeah.
He was the only mean celebrity I ever met. Through
Oh, yeah, he
popcorn.
like an asshole. Shut up.
Jason Bateman is the greatest actor, and I'm glad he's an asshole too. I
I'm
hope he
so
comes on
happy.
the show and he says, "Yeah, you know what, KB, fuck you."
I hope he just throw that shit in your face.
So, CP, speaking of star sightings, man, celebrities, what celebrities have you met that have been jerks? What celebrities have you met that have been amazing to you?
Man, well, when I was on Empire, man, let me tell y'all a fucking story. Yeah, fuck it. When I was on Empire, man, you know, like, first of all, I quit Empire. I don't know if people know that.
Mhm.
I
You
quit. Yeah, I quit.
The blog said that. I read the blog. No, I'm just playing.
Why did you quit?
I quit. It wasn't my, put it like this, if you walk in a room full of midgets, right?
You have to say little people?
Oh, my bad, you do?
Keep going.
Oh, okay.
These are the views and opinions of the King.
No, my fault. Can you say dwarfs?
You can.
If you walk into a room full of dwarfs, right, which is hilarious, you know, it could be like 4 levels of dwarfs. Like, they could be on top of each other, because there's a lot of room at like, from the upper third of the room, it's like a lot of space. Like, you looking around like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But if you're in a room full of dwarfs, you become the odd man out. And then every conversation is about dwarf stuff and where to find little shoes at and all that. and then you're left out of those conversations and you feel lame. You know what I'm saying? When I was on Empire, man, I didn't feel a part of them. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not homosexual. There's a lot of homosexuals there. Shout out to them. You gay, do what you do in the doo-doo.
What you doing to do?
I am cutting this part from the video.
But no, I'm just saying, you know, and then it was also like a lot of like, you know, what I first liked about Empire is I believed in these. Started talking about Terrence Howard. You know, I was happy for Taraji. Like, man, these are stars who, you know, they've been going and they need that. They need, not need this like they need the money, but it's to be dope for them. You know, and Taraji was one of the coolest people. I'll never forget, you know, like this is when that Fetty Wap song was real popular. We was on set. And I was like, I don't get this nigga. He sound like he yawning when he rap. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So me and her was dying off of that. You know, so I fuck her for like laughing one of my jokes. But like Terrence Howard mean as fuck to me.
Really?
This nigga, look, we on set. It's me, Terrence Howard, Snoop, Yaz, Gabby Sidibe. You know, we all.
It's definitely Sidibe. Keep going.
Oh, is it? Right? You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Her name should be Gabby side of the bus. But she was mean to me too. So we're all Snoop is performing season 1. It's the scene where Lucius socks Hakeem for dissing him on the stage. I had to pick him up, you know, and all that. You go back. I got it on my phone, but then my mom bought it. So we're on set. We had a concert basically. Snoop's performing. Mario Van Peebles is directing. It's like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Snoop is vibing. Mind you, I got that role off of an audition. I had to look and I could, you know, they liked the way I was talking and all that, but they had no idea that I was a comedian in CP. So I went into a mode where I was kind of overcompensating a little bit. I felt like the comic relief of the show was this chick named Portia, who was Cookie's assistant.
Yeah.
She was the funny, right? And she wasn't cutting it for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there like, man, this shit weak. And so I'm like, man, so we, you know, in between takes, I got extras laughing, you know, because these weird clubs, they got like badass dresses on, they look beautiful. But I'm clowning, we laughing, right? Terrence Howard is a method actor. So like, he needs to be Lucius.
Yeah.
Or else he's gonna lose it. Like, he needs to be that all day, right? We don't have a lot of scenes together, me and him, so I didn't know that shit. So I'm clowning and laughing, like, hey man, you wanna keep it down? I'm like, all right. You know what I'm saying? Think I'm shining. You know what I'm saying? So then, you know, cut. I'm joking with the chicks. They laugh and they geeking. This nigga say, hey man, shut the fuck up trying to make these bitches laugh. Nigga, I told your ass. Da-da-da. This is my empire.
Wow.
I was like, what in the Lucius line? The fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, oh shit, like, we about to scrap. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't ready. I was feeling this being funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So then all set, I'm hot. I'm like, this nigga yelled at me like, my daddy don't even. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck wrong? Like, you know. Then they say cut for the scene. We're done, right? His wife comes out the back. This nigga was on his best behavior because his wife was on set. And Snoop is there, and we got a lot of celebs on set this day. I think like shit, fuck.
Those a lot of people. I remember that episode.
Thump's mom.
Thump's mom?
Thump Nixon's mom. No, Nixon's mom. What's that? Debbie Allen.
Okay,
Debbie Allen was there. You know what I'm saying? Because she was directing the next episode. She was just, you know, I think embarrassed me in front of the whole fucking black celebrity, all your aunties you ever wanted to have.
Damn.
I'm pissed. I'm not shaking this nigga's hand or nothing. It helped with the scene. We supposed to be hating the nigga anyway. So I'm like, nah, I'm a method actor. Right? So the next day, there's a scene where there was a dude named Beretti who was like, they big, whatever. And so what happened was, we're supposed to be, me and Beretti were supposed to be doing coke in Hakeem's penthouse. And then the brother was supposed to come in and try to threaten to hang Beretti off of a banister. And then Lucius come in and save the day, you don't want to do that, etc. Right? So this is a whole other scene. It's chicks in the jacuzzi, right? Terrence Howard come in today, the very next morning, super plate. Jokes for everybody. These girls get a joke. These girls get it made. These chicks get it made. You know what I'm saying? Then he looks at me, he says, oh man, let me holler at you. Take me outside, like, hey man, that shit yesterday, man. You know, I just, you know how I be, man. You know, so I just gotta, I had to, I'm like, he didn't say shit.
Yeah, he didn't say that.
You know, because it'd be like, so I'd be like, sometimes, and I'm like, my wife was here, man. I ain't trying to, say, had bitches on, around. I'm like, what are you talking about? Man, they wasn't even fucking with you.
Yeah.
I was making them laugh. We was chilling. You embarrassed the shit out of me. I don't like you forever. Then, Gabby Sidibe, right?
Sidibe.
Hey, sitting on the dock of the back. I don't give a fuck what the name is.
What happened, bitch?
What the name is. Okay? She has this thing where she thinks that everybody is gonna make fun. I get it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to be cool. It's like I'm trying to be family. Like this show was the ratings was getting so crazy. I'm like, oh, we're gonna be around this motherfucker. So let's get, and we chilling at Jesse Smollett's crib after one of the texts. Everybody was over Jesse's house. And she's like, I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, whoa! And I'm like, all right. And then I'm like, try it again. Then the next, couple hours, I'm like, hey man, hey, we all getting the pic. Hey, man, no, I'm taking the pic. And I'm like, oh, Gabby, what's your, put your Instagram in so I can tag you. I don't take pictures. I don't need you to tag me. I'm private. I'm good.
Wow.
What?
I'm like, baby girl, you so far away from fucking being bad that you could be bad again, but then you missed that again. It's like, you don't even know who the fuck you talking to. Like, I'm the nigga I'm the one who's gonna roast you. I'm the one who will roast the nigga who roasting you, so he shut the fuck up and I can roast you by myself. Like, I'm that nigga. So it's like, it's like, what are you doing? And it's like, dog, I'm like, this shit is whack.
Yeah.
Like, this is whack. I don't even have enough lines. All I do is make faces at the dumb shit Hakeem do. They finna lose the empire again.
Let me stop you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so mad that we have to wrap this show up right now.
No.
We do.
Yes, we do.
We gotta get up out of here. I want to start with Lulu. What's coming up? How can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at LOU_Gonzalez. November 12th, I'll be at the Laugh Factory. Hit my link to get these tickets.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. KP, quick. How can we find you? What's coming up?
Hollywood KP, you can find me going wherever CP is going to listen to the rest of these stories.
This motherfucker is KP has just jumped ship as being my sidekick. Did you notice that? He's like wherever CP goes.
Yeah.
We were, hey,
They went from
college
CP to
time.
CP.
Okay,
Oh, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you something. I knew CP was going to be great before the rest of y'all.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me about
Are you a Sigma CP?
Yeah,
No, I'm a new.
yeah, and he used to tear
No, he was talking shit
No, I
about
wasn't.
campus.
Yeah,
No, I
no.
wasn't.
Look, KP, I'm gonna tell you some real shit now. Wait a minute now, I know we got to wrap up. KP was the motherfucking man
What?
in college. So when I went to Michigan State, but I would go to Western to do shows. And so, like the Sigmas they was like, the Kappas would bring me up sometimes, but the Sigmas brought me up all the time, and like they fucked with me heavy. And so, when I got up there, this nigga KP was the godfather of the fucking Sigmas. So they like, yeah, he got the hoes, he the one who got the bitch. And KP back there just, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, this nigga's the fucking man. Like Ron Evans, everybody was like, yo, KP man, look out for KP, Brando, man. Yeah, the fucking man, bro.
CP, what is coming up next and how can we find you?
Y'all can find me on @ComedianCP on every single social media, and then tomorrow I'm at the Comedy Union for the comedy block party, and then I'm traveling, so I'm touring right now. So I think like I'll be in Canada coming up, and I'll be in Baltimore and Atlanta. I'll be around, man. Look out, y'all comedy clubs, y'all see me.
Nice. Sharice, real quick, we're going rapid fire. What is your Instagram? How can they find you?
You can always find me online at SheRiseENT, SheRiseENT.
Cool. Highland Park, how can we find you?
Mel Walls, LEL_WALLOS.
Nice. Go ahead and give it to the chocolate left. How can
Damn,
we
she got
find
a
you?
sexy ass.
Pricker French Shells, PRECCA, and you can find me on all social sites.
All right.
Are you from like London or something?
Colorado.
Colorado.
I want to say this right now, CP, you are coming back for another episode because we have so much more to talk about.
Oh, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, well, also I want to say, man, I am nothing but happy for you, brother. I know a lot of your story. I don't know your whole journey, but I'm so honored to know the part that I know. You have an amazing family. You are part of, dude. You are going to touch the moon with your career and influence so many people. I'm so excited for you. I want to say, when I look around the room, I see nothing but talented, beautiful people. When I look out to the right, I see nothing but green, which means it's growing, which means that we are all having an opportunity to get far. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. This is Kicking It With
Clay.